Hey, what's up, guys? It's Devon with Ackie Kingdom. Lately, I've been asked, is there any monitor lizard out there that makes a great pet that doesn't get way too big? And that's when I have to tell most people that that's right up my alley. That's why I do what I do. I started Ackie Kingdom LLC to work with Odatria species, or dwarf monitors, because I know most people don't have the space in their homes for huge monitors. Now, let's say like a lot of people own savannas. They're one of the most popular monitor lizards out there. And yeah, a savanna monitor can range between like anywhere from 3 to 4.5 feet, depending on which savanna you get. But for some people, that's still too big. So what do they do? Like, is there a monitor out there for them that's under 3 or 4 feet that is biddable, handable, something that they can actually manage? And I say yes, there are. And today we're just going to be focusing on one species, but we're going to talk about a couple other species in a couple other videos that also make great pets. Today, it's all about everybody's favorite or most well-known dwarf monitor, and that's right, that's the Ackie. So let's get into it. Yeah, so today we're going to cover my most frequently asked questions when it comes to Ackie monitors. Okay, so we're going to give you a quick little rundown of what those questions are, and then afterwards we're going to go into breaking down Ackie monitors. Alright, so those questions are as follows. The first question is, how big do Ackies get? Okay, so we will answer that in just a moment. Second one is going to be, how long do Ackies live? And then, what do Ackies eat? And what size enclosure do I need for an Ackie? And are Ackies easy to tame down? And how much do Ackies cost? And of course, final question is going to be, where can I find an Ackie monitor? So we're going to answer all those questions today in this video, and we're going to cover them step by step and break them down. So let's get into the first one. Alright, so the first question, how big do Ackies get? Well, Ackies are a true dwarf monitor species, and that being said, an adult male Ackie can reach about 28 inches full grown, whereas the average is about between 18 to 24 inches for most adult male Ackies. Females tend to be a little bit smaller. Right here I have a female. She's a couple of years old, so she's almost completely fully grown. She's gonna get a little bit wider than she is right now, but I mean, this is what we're looking at. She's about 18 inches right now. This is a female red Ackie, and she's not really huge, she's not a big animal. She's very manageable. You can see she's perfectly fine being out and handled, but in typical monitor fashion, she's definitely checking everything out. And she's not going to sit super still for super long. She's going to constantly keep checking everything out. So between, I'd say the range of 17 to 20 inches is going to be your females. Males, between 18 to 24. And in some rare cases, you get those real big ones that are about 28 inches. So that's about your average size for an Ackie monitor. Very manageable. Definitely something that you can handle. It's not going to outgrow you. So, there we go. Alright, so question number 2 is going to be, how long do Ackies live? Well, Ackies live anywhere between 10 to 20 years. I had my first Ackie was a male red Ackie, similar to my female red that I have here. This is Yamato, by the way. And he lived to be about, let's say 10 years? Yeah, he was about 10 years. He was a little bit older when I got him, so he lived about 10 years old. And then the second pair of Ackies that I got were actually yellow Ackie monitors. And the male lived to be about 15. The female was just on the cusp of turning to be 15, so the male outlived the female a little bit there. But yeah, 10 to 20 years is your average life expectancy for these. So if you're caring for them well, they can live for quite some time. So don't, sleep on like proper care and husbandry. Keep these guys the best that you can. And I should probably be doing a husbandry video on these pretty soon. But right now we're just doing like a general overview of if this is the right animal for you. So we'll get into the next question in just a second. All right, so our next question is, what do Ackie monitors eat? Now, Ackie monitors are a dwarf monitor from Australia, and being an Australian animal in the wild, they would eat a lot of arthropods, so everything from grasshoppers and crickets and roaches to other reptiles. So they'll eat small skinks, geckos. They'll also eat small snakes and eat bird eggs and things like that in the wild. So in captivity, what I tend to feed mine are lots of crickets, grasshoppers, and roaches for their staple diet. That's like mostly what they eat is crickets, grasshoppers, roaches. I'll use silkworms from time to time as well, and hornworms occasionally as well. But the occasional food that I would do to mix in to add like some extra protein to their diet would be day-old quail chicks, quail eggs, definitely. And I tend to hard boil those. I don't leave them raw because I just don't want all the mess. And then silver sides. If you guys are in the fish community or fish hobby and you keep predatory fish, then you know what silver sides are. I'll probably put something up on the screen so you can see what silver sides are. But they're a type of fish that you feed to other fish and fish-eating animals. And they are just like any fish. It's a very lean protein, so you don't have to worry about your animal getting super heavy on that. So that's my next caveat into this last food item, which is for only specific purposes that I would feed it, and that is rodents. I don't tend to do rodents with monitors at all. If I have a gravid female or a female that has just finished laying, I will add like pinky mice from time to time, but I tend not to use mice at all in my feedings for my monitors, just because it makes them very heavy. I mean, they can become easily obese by eating on mice, so that's why I keep away from it. And Odotrian as a whole, all dwarf monitors tend to suffer in captivity with obesity because they're a high metabolism animal. They love to eat. People love to watch them eat. So they tend to overfeed them. And one of the things that you want to make sure that you don't do is overfeed your monitor, especially with an Ackie. They will just keep eating and, and they will get heavier and heavier. And if that persists, then when they become obese, they'll get fatty liver disease, and that'll cut their lifespan down significantly. Another thing that they can get is gout, which is a painful thing that can happen for your animal and currently not really curable for any of your reptiles or anything like that. So it's just a really painful way for them to go, and I've seen animals have it. I've had a few animals that actually got it from older animals that I got from other keepers that just didn't have a good start, and it was hard to combat it, but it just happens, you know. It happens when they're fed the incorrect diets. So yeah, stick with the staple of insects for the most part. If you're doing more protein, like I said, do lean protein. Quail, fish, again, silver sides are probably going to be one of your good friends that you can use with that, and eggs. And use all those high protein things sparingly. All right. Okay, so our next question is, are they easy to tame down? And I would say yes, Ackies are easy to tame down, and there's a couple of reasons for this. One, in the United States or in the UK, let's just face it, anywhere outside of Australia, your Ackie is going to be captive bred. So you're not going to have a wild-caught animal, so it's not going to be super stressed. Now, with that being said, every single animal is an individual, right? You can see Yamato here is flailing around. She just wants to keep exploring. But she's not upset. She's fine with me handling her, just not restricting her. She doesn't like to be restricted. Some monitors, most monitors, to be fair, don't like to be restricted at all. So when you restrict them, they're not about it, okay? So they're not happy with that, but these guys tend not to be like super biters or anything like that. They tend to deal with it a little bit better than some animals will. I can say that. They can definitely bite. And she, when I first got her, was very timid and not used to being handled and everything. And she would turn and bite if I restricted her. But besides that, she was not like a biter to come after you or anything like that. Most of my other animals, especially with the yellows, I noticed that the yellow Ackies tend not to bite nearly as much, like temperamental wise, like the reds do, but it really depends on the individual. Because I've seen reds, I have a red that's like very chill and she doesn't bite at all. The only time that she does anything, like test bites my clothes, is because she smells food. So if you're worried that this animal is going to be a bitey animal, because you've heard stories that monitors bite, don't worry about them being bitey. Just make sure that you're doing the right things. You socialize them properly. You get your hands in their enclosure. You work around them. When you feed, you use tongs if you're going to target feed them. And if you're just going to be working with them, like just handling them and stuff like that, that you don't have any sense of any food items or anything like that on you. Because any food item that they smell on you, they're going to check your hands, check whatever part of your body, your clothes or whatever that you had food, to see if it's something edible. They're constantly always cruising around. As you can see Yamato cruising around. And she's just checking. She is looking for food actively. I know she's hungry right now. But you can see, even though she's hungry, she smelled my hands, my face, and everything multiple times. And she did not bite me. She just wants to check to see if there's food anywhere. She's constantly checking the phone to see if there's food. So that's why she keeps popping up in front of the phone here. But yeah, they're just inquisitive. They're really smart. You can give them little teeny puzzles to solve and everything like that. It's similar to like a dog puzzle. And they will definitely solve it. So I would say, short answer, yes. These are very personable, very easy to tame down animals. Again, they're captive bred outside of Australia. In Australia, they have a lot of captive bred ones too, but they also can get permits to have wild caught animals, so their bloodlines are going to be a lot better than the ones that we have in the United States. We have a whole thing about bottlenecking and stuff like that happening with the Australian species that we have in the States because we can't get any more. So that's a whole nother subject for a different video. I can talk about it later if you guys want. Just comment down below and let me know if you want to talk about genetics in Ackies, and we can get into it. But yeah, easy to tame down. So the next question is, how much do Ackie monitors cost? Well, Ackie monitors are captive bred, and even though they're a popular dwarf monitor, they are not everywhere. So you're not going to see them at a big box store like a PetSmart or a Petco or a Pet Supplies Plus, wherever your big box store is. You're not really going to see them there, but you might see them in mom and pop pet shops if they get them from local breeders. And of course, you have local breeders and breeders that are not local that you can find online. And they range in a price depending on where you're getting them from, the breeder itself and the animal itself. So if you have yellows or red Ackies or babies or adults, it really just depends on the Ackie. But to give you a general price range, I would say that they range anywhere between $200 to about $700, give or take, depending on the animal. So that's your range. $200 to $700 is what you're looking at. If you want to know how much Yamato costs me, she costs me $700 because she is a female and she had breeding potential. And when I got her, she was actually a hatchling. So $700 for a red Ackie hatchling from a pretty decent breeder. I'm not gonna name drop, we'll leave it alone. But yeah, she was pretty good, and she came out very well, and she should probably be producing this year, hopefully. So yeah, if you're looking for Yamato babies, check back with me. I should have some available sometime this year. Alright, now final question of the video is going to be, where can I acquire, where can I get an Ackie monitor? Okay, well, big box pet stores are not going to sell your Ackie monitors. Neither are most mom and pop shops. I mean, some will. Some will actually purchase from breeders. But normally you're going to have to go to a reptile expo or a breeder to get yourself an Ackie monitor. And what I would recommend for that is to check out Morph Market, morphmarket.com. They have a wide variety of monitors that you're looking for, whether you're looking for Ackies, if you're looking for large monitors, but we're looking for small monitors right now. That's our focus on Odatria. So you can find a lot of them on Morph Market. And if you're not happy with Morph Market, or it's just so many animals up there and you don't know what to choose from, you don't know who's good. Maybe you want to purchase an Ackie from me, you can check out my website. I actually have a website. It's www.VaranaKingdomLLC.com. And up there, you can browse from available Ackies that I have and see if any of those fit your interest, if they're what you're looking for. So you can check those out. You can go on either of those sites. You can go to your local reptile expo, see if anybody has Ackies available there. You can also go on Facebook. There's Facebook groups. You can check to see where people bought their Ackies from. And that would probably be the best way. But being as these guys are popular for monitors, for dwarf monitor keepers, they're not always readily available. I mean, they do breed pretty prolifically, but to be honest, as far as like a population, you'd see more Savannah monitors and other things like Niles or Lacey's, well, not even Lacey's, but like Niles and Asian water monitors than you do Ackies everywhere. So just keep that in mind. There's going to be certain times where you might not be able to find Ackies, but they are available. They are out there. You just have to know where to look. So Morph Market, morphmarket.com, and VaranaKingdomLLC.com are definitely two places I would recommend. There's other breeders out there. I would give a whole bunch of other shout out. Mike's Monitors, he focuses on a lot of like Varanus togianus and Varanus Coming Eye, Varanus mertensi, Mertens water monitors, Philippine yellow-headed water monitors, the Togian water monitor. Those are a lot of the stuff that he has. He has a lot of monitors, so you can check him out, mikesmonitors.com, or you can check out Nick Illis at Unlimited Exotics, and he has a lot. You can find all those people on Instagram, Facebook. You can also find them, I think, on YouTube as well. Yeah, and again, you can check my Instagram, Facebook. I have my stuff up there too. So it's all up to you, man. I'm just giving you guys options, So those are the questions for where can I find my monitor and all the other questions. Where can I find an Ackie and all those other questions. And guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, subscribe. If you didn't enjoy it, tell me what it is that you might have enjoyed instead. If you got questions or any comments or anything like that, you can leave them in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to read them. Maybe we can have a bit of a discussion, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. So for me and Yamato, I just want you all to have a great day and stay blessed.